evening agenda is today coming to you from an animal shelter in the capital, and the reason why we've chosen this location is because Kerala is having an emergency crisis meeting about how to deal with stray dogs. Remember, over the weekend they've seen one death of a 65-year-old woman because of a stray dog's bite, and 8 other people from Palakkad are said to be injured. On the show today, we'll talk about how to manage that, because some people are saying, and the minister there has said, that human life is much more important than that of the animals. We'll be speaking to people about how that matters, because remember, this is an issue which the Supreme Court is dealing with. But first, here's Sneha Merikoshi's report.
In Kerala, it's almost locals versus stray dogs. Sadly, a repeat from the last year. In Palakkad, these 8 people at a government hospital have alleged that they have been bitten by a stray dog, all in a span of 3 days since Saturday. The dog was later allegedly killed by locals. Anger among people visible after a 65-year-old woman died. She was attacked, bitten, large chunks of her flesh pulled out by a pack of stray dogs last week.
രാവിലെ 5 മണിക്ക് നിസ്കാരം കഴിഞ്ഞ് റോട്ടിൽ കൂടെ ഇറങ്ങുമ്പോൾ നായി ഓടി വന്ന് 2-3 നാളെ കടിച്ചിട്ടാണ് വന്നത്. ആരും പറഞ്ഞില്ല, പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഞാൻ ഉസാരായിരിക്കും. എന്നെ വന്ന് കടിച്ച് തുണീനെ കടിച്ച് വലിച്ചു ആദ്യം. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ മെല്ലെ തുണി അയച്ചിട്ട് ജട്ടിയോടെ നിന്നു.
A group from Kerala has sought permission from Supreme Court seeking to remove stray dogs from the streets of Kerala altogether, an estimate of over 2 lakh stray dogs. They allege that more than 1 lakh people have been bitten by stray dogs in 2015. But on the ground, lack of animal birth control drives across Kerala is evident, with lack of expert dog catchers, trained vets, and a collapsing infrastructural support. Making things worse, an expert panel appointed by the Supreme Court states poor waste management as a reason for the rise in the stray dog numbers.
We want to set up sterilization units, mobile sterilization units. We are thinking about to use these services, those who are studying for veterinary courses. We want to give stipend for those students.
This is a systemic failure in Kerala. The public outcry has been because of sustained inaction, first by the Congress-led UDF government and now by the CPM-led LDF government. Total apathy. With camera person SP Babu, Sneha Koshi for NDTV.
So we are coming to you from an animal shelter where those animals who have problems, who the local residents are dealing with, have problems, they are brought over here. We'll speak to them about how they deal with it. Dr. Richard Hayes, an MP from Kerala, is also with us. And also joining us, we have Gauri Mulekhi, activist. And from the other side, VK Biju, who is appearing for the petitioners who were attacked by animals, and they're the ones fighting it out in Supreme Court. He also joins us in the Delhi studio. But first, Sneha Merikoshi is with the residents who are really upset about and worried about dog bites. Because remember, look at one figure over here. Between 2015 and 2016, the figure says more than 1 lakh of people in Kerala were bitten by dogs. So it's a major number. Sneha, what are the people saying over there? What do they want the government to do?
Well, Sunetra, you might be at an animal shelter there, but we are here on the streets. This is the road where everybody walks. Let me ask the people here first. Let me start with you. Are you scared to walk or drive these streets?
Well, not always, but if I'm driving in a way and I'm seeing some stray dogs standing nearby, I'm of course.
Why?
Because of the, I think it because.
Have you had any incident?
Well, not so big, but I had an incident when they chased me.
They chased you, you got scared. What about you? Do you think the kind of response that is coming with respect to how stray dog menace should be dealt in Kerala, do you think it's driven by fear largely because of the large numbers and incidents that are being reported?
There is an element of fear in this, but I believe that as a long-term solution to the problem, the city should practice proper waste management. I strongly agree with the sterilization policy of the government that helps in the short run.
Okay, you are saying that the sterilization should be taken seriously. That was Sabira and Kavya. Joining us right now is Dr. Annie. Dr. Annie, you represent the Indian Veterinary Association. how dismal is the condition? You know, you talk to locals and they say, you know, we go to church, we got bitten. We were walking here, we got bitten. We were doing this and we got bitten. That's the fear psychosis which is literally working. Anger on the streets.
Yeah, everyone is really frightened and scared here. But the reason behind it is basically because we people in Kerala, culturally, we do not really, the number of pet lovers are much less. We have a tendency to have animals just for their economic purpose or for their guarding. If it is a dog, it's for the guarding purpose or for the breeding. So the economic value that you get back. So the loving tendency is much less.
And is that the reason why there are so many attacks? Is that what you're saying?
That is one of the reasons of having so many attacks, but the other reason is probably the fact that, because of this fear that is developed in the young child.
Okay. Let me just quickly get Anandi on this. Anandi, you are an animal activist, and yet you hear people around you so scared about it. The government is saying that literally there's been no action from any government. What do you have to say about it?
You just have to notice that in Delhi, the ratio of dogs to humans is 1 to 140. Whereas in Kerala, it's much, the number of people are much higher than the number of dogs in Delhi than here. The population is so huge over there. They don't have a menace. Why do we have a menace? So it's definitely to be dealt with the waste management system as well as the improper implication of the sterilization programs over here.
Well, you've heard both the sides of the story essentially, but the point is that there is a lot of anger right now and practically no action from the government.
Sneha, thanks very much. Before I move to our guest, Dr. Ansari is here with me. And remember, the municipal corporations are the ones who are fighting and who are being held responsible by Supreme Court. When the municipal corporation brings the dogs over here, when there is a complaint that they are biting and things like that, what do you all do?
First, we just attend this call and send our vehicle at that area and pick the dead dog and come here. And we do sterilization and just take it for 5 to 7 days for a period for the for the segregation. So we can understand is a biting dog is a rabbit or not. So if it is okay, then we do the sterilization and we do the anti-rabies vaccination.
Because sterilization helps?
Yes, it's because of due to dog will become calm and docile.
Okay, Professor Hayes, you've already told us that as a dog owner, you really love animals, but a lot of the MPs, the government in Kerala, are saying that human life is just more important right now. How do you respond to that?
Firstly, I sympathize with the victims. In this case, especially a lady has died and several others were attacked by the dogs, especially street dogs. Now, what happens is that the problem has been created by the mismanagement of the dog population by the municipal organizations, authorities, or the panchayats or the corporations. So they should have taken up this matter seriously, which they have not done over the years. Now, in this matter, when a lady has been killed in the Trivandrum area, I understand that she has gone for a public defecation on the seashore. That's what I understand. And so that means the government has failed to even provide toilets to the poor. See, that is why that
but
lady
even people who are otherwise walking around as well, they're also having problems with dogs. That's what we heard on Sneha's OB when she was speaking to the residents there. Gauri Mulekhi, one of the things that figures that the Brihan Mumbai Corporation Council pointed out is that dog bites in 20 years have killed more than 2 terror attacks. And you heard what the residents were saying as well. How do you respond to them? How do you reassure them to still care for animals when they're
That's
so scared?
just an analogy. That analogy is so absurd. I mean, if you put all the road accidents in 20 years, they would have killed 100 times more people than terror attacks. So should we just burn up all the cars and buses and trucks and everybody should sit at home? The analogy just doesn't make any sense. However, we do see that the dog population management is the need of the hour, and for that there are already guidelines laid down. There are recommendations given by the World Health Organization. They have been accepted by the Indian Parliament as law. That law is being implemented in all parts of the country. country in some degree or other. There is just one little state in the south called Kerala, which is actually in a sort of a disobedience mode to all the central government rules, acts and the orders of the Honorable Supreme Court. No animal birth control program has been, sustained in Kerala. Only fits and starts, and basically this accident, this very unfortunate accident that happened, could be avoidable if the government were carrying out a systematic animal birth control program like the other states are doing today.
Okay.
There is a huge, much higher density of dogs in other states, but there's no conflict. Why is there a conflict in Kerala? That's because of the absolute open meat stalls, unprecedented meat roughage that is lying on the roads, and these dogs are feeding on it. They are multiplying, and then they are being beaten up by people or shooed away. Half of them are being killed. Every year there's a killing drive. The panchayats make it a political agenda. We'll remove all the dogs if you vote for us.
So VK Biju, would you respond to that? It seems would you accept that it's limited because it's not working in Kerala?
Sumitra ji, it's absolutely wrong. First of all, I am the lawyer. Because of my effort, Justice Sirijagan Committee retired appeared as a panel chairman. Kindly see, Sumitra and my dear fans, the real issue is not discussing. Gauri, I was silent when you were talking. Gauri madam, I was silent when you were talking. Please. And what is the real fact, Sumitra ji? The real fact is this: 238 crores animals like cow and other different kinds of animals slaughtering. Where is the animal lovers? Number one, 1.71 crore dogs are in India. It is 2014 statistics of Government of India. 1.61 dog bites in India. And the more interesting fact, my dear fans, 18,665 crores we are spending for anti-rabies vaccine. Out of that, 88,000 crores are going to the rabies vaccine mafia. They are real culprits. That is what to be dealt with.
All these figures are okay. All these figures are okay, but can you tell me, how do you think the solution is going to work? Because even the Supreme Court order said that it's basically the civic agencies who have to ensure that all of these are followed, that they have proper ways of coordination with the NGOs and working. So what's your solution?
Sumitra ji, in every time I am appearing in this matter, Honorable Supreme Court clearly held we can't sit as an idle when the poor kids and daily wages were attacking and dying in Kerala. That is why the committee appointed number one. Number two, what is the law? Come to the law. They are saying about that animal birth control rule. Can the rule go beyond the act? Act is enacting by the legislature. Now what is the law? Law is Section 11, Subsection 3, Clause B and C of Animal Prevention of Cruelty Act and Section 438 of Kerala Municipalities Act. And moreover, Article 21, right to live. Your rule cannot go beyond the fundamental right of Article 21, Madam Gauri. Please understand the law.
Okay, sir,
I am happen to be from Kerala.
Okay, let her respond. Let her respond. Yeah, Gauri Maleki, would you like to respond to that?
No, basically there is no direction from the Supreme Court to any state other than to just implement the animal birth control rules. The Kerala government has invested zero in animal birth control so far. There's one corporation, the Kochi Corporation, that has made infrastructure, and the program did take off for a while in one corporation only. But the rest of Kerala is doing nothing for animal birth control. How are they even complying by the Supreme Court order? And here we have people crying, calling the program a failure without it having even started. So that's the misfortune of the country. We're trying to invent the wheel. We're trying to find solutions when the solution has already been prescribed and mandated by law. They have not been taken up. While there are a host of people who are seizing the opportunity for compensation.
The Supreme Court also hasn't very clearly laid down exactly what the solution is. They're waiting to hear from all the agencies, all the states, because remember, this is an issue which the New Delhi Maharashtra, all the states involved in. After the break, we'll have the amicus curiae in this case, Dushyant Dave, speak to us about where he stands on this issue. Stay tuned for that. How do you deal with stray dogs and dog bites? That's an issue that Kerala is dealing with. And joining us now is someone who was the amicus curiae, a friend of the court in this matter in Supreme Court, Dushyant Dave. Dushyant Dave, where do you stand on this issue? Do you agree with V.K. Biju's opinion that he believes that elimination of such a large population of dogs is the only way out?
Look, first and foremost, I must tell you that I am myself a dog lover. We have had pets for a number of years and they have been great companions. Of course, right now I don't have the last one we lost was last year after 14 years of beautiful companionship. But having said that, I must also say that human life is far more important than the life of a dog. I mean, you just cannot allow a human being to be attacked, much less killed by, these vicious dogs. But we must understand one thing, that right to life is a sacrosanct right under the Constitution, under Article 21. And state has an absolute obligation to ensure that that right of every citizen is protected in fullest meaning by every possible means. So state must therefore take all precautions which are necessary for the purpose of, ensuring that the wild dogs, stray dogs, don't attack human beings. There is no doubt about the fact that the stray dogs have become a serious menace in the country. It is not only taking away, the good sleep of most citizens in cities, including my own colony here in Sundarnagar, but it is also causing grave inconvenience. When I go for a walk, for example, to Lodi Garden every evening, there are about 10, 20, 30, 40 dogs who are sitting right in the middle of the road. I can't even enter comfortably. I am always afraid that they might attack me. And it really is at a sight which is unpleasant. It is not. Dogs are supposed to be pets. They were never really, brought up as, stray dogs. And this problem has now gone into absolute proportions which is impossible to take care of. It is not possible to, sterilize them. Humanly, it is not possible in this country. It is not possible to really keep them in, some kind of enclosures. And it is therefore only way to deal with them perhaps is an unpleasant and unfortunate decision which many of us will find it unpalatable, is to cull them. And I think that's something which we state will have to seriously consider, because you can't have these kind of attacks going on this year we have lost more than a dozen children of the age of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I remember in Baroda Hospital, for example, newborn babies have been taken away by the dogs. So it's really sad to see what happens.
This is the friend of the court. This is the amicus curiae saying that. So
Yes. Let me just make a few submissions. With my immense respect for Mr. Dave, I beg to completely differ from him on this point. One is his assertion that animal birth control is not possible. Well, I would like to know how he gets that from, where he gets that from. There are states which have taken up animal birth control in a phase-wise, proper manner. Haryana, Uttarakhand, Bihar, now even Jharkhand. There is, amazing efforts being made in Rajasthan, in Tamil Nadu, in Sikkim, in Himachal Pradesh. I mean, why make such a statement, such a irresponsible statement that ABC is not possible? And then again another one to say that dogs are only supposed to be pets, not supposed to be strays. Well, dogs, as and when, civilization came in, dogs always hung around human settlements only to feed on and scavenge on the waste that we produce. Now, we are a filthy country with filth lying in our streets, with so much of protein lying in our streets. These scavengers come in only to feed on that. It's a natural process, and there is, and for every professional in their own fields to start suggesting ways and means to deal with the stray dog population. I don't know why that happens. When there is an expert committee, the World Health Organization, the Parliament of India, they've all given the solution. The court has mandated the solution.
Go ahead.
That needs
Gaurav Muleki, 1 second. Go ahead.
See, we are adding more problems to society, because our people themselves, they throw the waste by the side of the road.
Yeah.
And that is leading to the increase of the dog population in the country. So it is again the responsibility, the bounden duty of the municipalities and the panchayats and the corporation to see that proper waste management methods are followed in the country.
That's right, and that's been owed as one of the major factors as well. But opinion clearly divided. A very strong statement there from the amicus curiae. But of course, that's going to break the hearts of animal lovers across and dog lovers across the country. We'll wait for the final word from Supreme Court, which is still out on that issue. Thanks to all our guests. And that's it on Agenda. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.